everyone, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to look at playlists. What is a playlist? Playlists are similar to playlists in iTunes and Spotify. They are user created, meaning a person makes them, and you can add tracks to that playlist and then download those tracks. You can email the playlist to a colleague, or you can collaborate on a playlist. So if you're doing a project and maybe there's 3 people on this project, you can update that playlist in real time. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So if I go to the tracks area right here, I see my list of tracks. The playlists are going to be located on the left-hand side of your screen. So I see right here my playlists. And if I look at my setup right now, I can see that my playlists are actually organized into folders. Folders are a way of staying organized. So right here, I have my Vice folder, and I see all of the playlists contained within the Vice folder. Now, where it says my playlist, I also get a drop down with those 3 horizontal lines, and I can organize my folders by name, by track count. And then below that, I can search for an existing playlist. So if you know the name of it and you're looking for it, you can just type it in there. So let's go ahead and create a folder and then a couple of playlists. So if I scroll down to the bottom of my window, I'm going to see a button here. It says New Playlist. To the right of that, there's a drop down and it says New Folder. So let's go ahead and start there. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this My Folder. And in the description, say this is my first folder. And I don't want to add this to an existing folder. I'm just going to put it on the top level here. So I'm going to say Create Folder. And if I reorganize my folders by name, and I scroll down, I should see my folder right there. Okay, next, let's go ahead and create a playlist from scratch. So this is really easy. There's a button at the bottom called New Playlist. We just click on it. Under the playlist name, I'm going to call this My Playlist. And then under the description, let's say that we're looking for music for a cold open of a show. So I'm gonna put a description here: music for cold open. And then add to folder, I'm gonna put this in the My Folder folder. Okay, so now this is my playlist is gonna go into my folder. So I'm gonna hit create. So now when I go to my folder and I click on it, I'm going to see the playlist that we just created called My Playlist. Now, I'm also going to notice that there's an edit button and a delete button. This is actually for the folder. So if I wanted to change the name from my folder to my great folder, I can do that and hit save. And then I'll see this change, my great folder. If I want to delete that, there's a delete button here. So let's take a look at my playlist. So I click on my playlist. I see that it's active right here, but we have no tracks in it yet. So let's go ahead and add some tracks. So the way to make a playlist active so that you can add or delete tracks is to click the little plus button to the right. So if I click on that, I can see now that this is active. We can now add or take away tracks or albums. So let's add a few tracks and we'll add a few albums to it. So I'm going to go to my tracks right here. So if I want to add a track, all I have to do is click on the little plus button next to the track title. So here's Echoes. There's a little green plus there. Lets me know I'm adding it to my playlist. So I'm just going to add a few up here. Okay, looks great. Now, if I want to see the tracks that are contained within that playlist, I have 2 options. I can either click on it up here at the top, My Playlist, or I can click on it over here on the left-hand side, My Playlist as well. So if I click on it, then I'll see I have the 3 tracks that are added to my playlist. Now, let's say that I listen to these and I decide, hey, I really want to take this one out of my playlist, I'll just click on the minus button and it'll get removed. So let's say that I also wanted to add a complete album. So if I go up to albums, let's say I want to add this one right here called Adrenaline Junkie. In the art view, there's a plus button. Again, I can do it this way. In the detailed view, I can say add or remove album. And in the simple view, there's also a green plus. So I'm going to do this in the art view, and I'm just going to click on the green button right here. And I'm going to click on my playlist and see what we have now. So it lets me know I have 19 tracks total in my playlist. And I've got these two. And then this one's letting me know that I have an album added. So if I want to see the tracks that are associated with that album, I can just click on plus 17 and I can see all of these tracks that have been added. Okay, great. So let's say that I want to download this playlist. If I look on the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says download all. And you have those options. You can download an MP3, AFF, or WAV. Again, as shown in a previous video, you also have the option to download the alternates with these tracks as well automatically. So it's up to you. So that's downloading. But what if I want to email this playlist to a colleague or a client? Well, if I look over on the upper right-hand corner where it says more options, I'm going to see those three horizontal lines. That's going to give us a drop-down. When we look at that drop-down, I'm going to see there's an option to email link. I'm going to click on that. All we have to do is type in the email address of the person who we want to receive this. So I'm going to type in info@bulletproofbear, give a message, say, hey, this is the music for the cold open. Check it out. And on some accounts, you'll even get permissions control, whether it's preview only, downloading for a certain amount of days, that type of thing. The bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see there's a button that send. So go ahead and hit that. And then we'll also see a confirmation that that email was sent. That user will then receive an email saying you've received music from this person, and it'll give them the option to preview or directly download from their email. It's worth pointing out that we also have the ability to email individual tracks or individual albums. So similar to the more options up here, I'm going to see this same icon associated with every single track in the system. So let's say I wanted to send this track Armed and Dangerous to somebody. If I go over to the three horizontal lines and click on this, there is an option to email just that track. So I click on it, see the track title. We can always change this, and I will put in info@bulletproofbear. Say, hi, here's the track Armed and Dangerous. And I hit send. Email sent. So that's how you send from an individual track. And if I go to the album section, I can do the exact same thing. So in the art view, when I hover over the album, I'll see next to the download button, I'll see this arrow icon. This is the same as emailing, so I can click on that to send it. If I am in the simple view, I'll have the arrow as well. And if I'm in the detailed view, I can go to more options and say email to send to someone. Great. We also have the ability to add a collaborative workflow to a playlist. So let's say that you are working with multiple people on a project and you all need to work on the same playlist at the same time. Well, this is really easy. So I'm going to click on my playlist right here. And under more options, instead of emailing it to someone, I'm going to share it with them. So I'm going to click on share. And all I have to do is type the email address of the person that I want to share this playlist with. So I'm going to type in info@bulletproofbear.com. There's an option then to notify by email. And you can also set their permissions, whether they can view only or they are allowed to edit. If they are allowed to edit, that means that they will be able to add or take away tracks from this playlist. In fact, whoever has access to this playlist, if it's shared, will have the ability to add or take away tracks. And this happens in real time, which is pretty cool. So if I want to share this, I'm going to type in the email address of who I want to share or multiple emails. I'm going to put a message. Hi, this is the playlist for the cold open. Add some tracks. And I'll hit share now. And what happens is that the recipient of that email will receive an email notification saying, hey, so-and-so has shared this playlist with you. And then when you log in, you're going to see that playlist show up. And to add or take away tracks, you find the playlist and then click on the green plus button. Thanks for watching.